Today I'm going to be showing you how to isolate mushroom spores using the serial dilution technique. Before I get started, let me quickly explain how this works. Get a spore print on foil and then 5 test tubes of sterilised water. Knock your spores into the first test tube, and then we're going to take 1 milliliter from the first test tube, move it into the next test tube, go on and on until you hit the final test tube. At that point, your pipette will have a reduced number of spores, making it easier to isolate genetics. First thing to be aware of, you're going to need a minimum of 5 glass pipettes, 5 10 milliliter test tubes. Fill the test tubes up with water, put them into a glass jar and sterilise them at 15 psi for 20 minutes minimum. When you do that, leave the lid loose for sterilising, as we want the steam to enter the jar, sterilise the objects. If you seal the jar, you'll create a huge pocket of air around the objects and it won't reach the right temperature. When you remove the jars from the pressure cooker, just seal the lid before moving them to a still air box or flow hood. So here are the Cordyceps spores I'm going to be using. I've caught these on a Petri dish. I'm just going to squirt the water out and then suck the spores back up into the water. If you're doing this to clean up contamination or reduce contamination in a spore print, you're going to need to use a new pipette for each dilution. However, I'm doing this just to isolate spores, so I'm just reusing the pipette as the spores will get knocked off and I'm not too worried about contamination. I also sterilised my scalpel, which was lucky because if you're not careful you can lose a pipette in the test tube. Luckily I had something sterile to fish it out so I could continue, otherwise that would have been a disaster. First thing I do is line up all the test tubes. Next, I'm sucking up the spores into the pipette and transferring them into the first test tube. Make sure to give each test tube a good shake. Later in this video I'm going to show you a tool I like to use to agitate the spores and loosen them up pretty perfectly. Then we're just going to take 1 milliliter from this test tube, move it into the next test tube, shake it, then repeat the process until we get to the final test tube. Now that we're on the last one, I'm going to show you what I use to really agitate the spores. If you've got one of these Percussion massager guns, you can tape the test tube to the end of it, turn it on, and it works really well. It's a bit like using a vortex mixer, but it's probably about 10 times cheaper. For the actual inoculation onto the Petri dish, I use a fresh, clean pipette to make sure there isn't any residual spore load on the inside or on the outside of the pipette that might affect the inoculation. So after around 7 days, you can see this tiny speck of growth here. You can also see some colonies on the lid, which I couldn't actually see with my naked eye at the time. That must have happened from moving the Petri dish around. Some of the spores have released and landed on the lid. Nothing to worry about. After a couple of more days, you can see a bit more growth. And then I went on holiday for a week, and when I came back, I had this. So this is about 20 days. Now for Cordyceps, this is all I really need. I just wanted lower genetic variability. I wanted to isolate some of the spores away for breeding. Whereas you might want to confirm single spore isolates. And to do that, you're going to need a microscope and looking for clamps in the mycelium. I'll cover that another time, as well as going over actually breeding Cordyceps. Until then, like and subscribe, and I'll try and get that video out as soon as possible.